Hi Sagittarius, here's a general look at your solar chart for April 2012, and every year at this time the Sun goes into a fellow fire sign, which is Aries, and it means that for you there's a lighter, brighter, more spontaneous vibration around. You're probably going to get more opportunity to have a bit of playtime. It's a kind of a sociable vibe. It might not be the conventional idea of play, like entertainment or sports or leisure activities, but it can be. But what it might be as well is that you get into doing something that really allows you to feel your power, allows you to kind of shine in the eyes of others. In fact, there could be some admiring glances coming your way, particularly after the 4th, I would say. So that's good news, especially if they're reciprocated and they're going both ways. So anyway, this could very much manifest as you're having more opportunities to do the kinds of things that you enjoy, and also just to be doing something that allows you to shine your light in your own unique way, because everybody has their own slice of God, if you like. And you are holding that slice for your lifetime. You are responsible for it, and your light shines through that lens, that slice of God. That could be a way to look at it. Well, I look at it that way sometimes. So it could put you at the center of attention, and all eyes could be upon you every now and again, or others kind of looking upon you in sort of amazement, and perhaps awe. And of course this energy where the Sun is also very childlike. It's very spontaneous, and some of you could be having more contact with children, or maybe it's animals, and you will be able to touch into the more childlike side of yourself every now and again. Now, between the 14th and 17th, you may have to work a little bit harder there at whatever it is. Maybe feeling a bit more pressure on you, bear a bit more of a burden, or be a little bit more disciplined because of something to do with this area that I've been mentioning, or friends or group associations, the culture, whatever it is, and that might be equally over the wires as well. But if you want to know more about that little blip there, then have a look at Saturn transit to get more of an idea about what that may be about. It doesn't look, too dreadful. Mercury, now Mercury's at the root of your solar chart until the 16th. That will put you in touch more with your roots, your foundations, your inner self, your past, your history, and history in general, and the past in general as well in some ways. The indication is that could be a lot's going on a base of operations, whether that's at home or whether it's somewhere you are temporarily, you being the nomad of the zodiac. So a lot of movement at the base of operations, perhaps a little bit more travel, or maybe a lot more chit-chat going on, discussions, bouncing ideas. It could be about family, though. It could be about members of your family. That's more on your mind, issues there. And it may be to do with your tribe as well, like your extended family or your neighborhood, things going on in the neighborhood around you. It could also manifest as a blast from the past. It could be that the past is very much being reincarnated in the present in some way. And you are more in touch with your inner self, but this is actually quite an emotional area where Mercury is. So time to time those emotions will kind of well up a little bit to the surface, which isn't altogether a bad thing. And in fact, it might not be a bad thing at all. Something might touch you, but just be aware of that, that you can be maybe a little bit affected by moods sometime. And also your mental focus could be related to property matters. Yes, you're thinking about, buying, selling, that sort of thing, leasing, renting. and it can also mean that you are more the visitor or the host. You're connecting in that way, and you're kind of just passing through that sort of feeling there as well. Or it might not be like that at all. It might be that you were just doing more over the wires from home. And then Mercury moves on the 16th into a more fun, extrovert, entertaining or creative area, and that implies that you get more access to things that you enjoy doing in daily encounters, which, as I said earlier, are quite empowering. And it may mean that your creative juices are flowing, or that you're just in a more relaxed, fun-orientated, creative frame of mind. And this may or may not be in the service of somebody else. Partly it may be. Partly it may be from what you choose, you see. But there's definitely, whether you're working or whether you're not, there's going to be more laughs or friendly sharing along the way, I think. And you might feel more valued for something that you can do, and others see that you can do well. And there could still be an element of business as usual, though. For some of you, there will be more focus upon, as I said earlier, children, animals, and as I should have said earlier as well, romantic partners. But as I said, particularly after the 4th, yes, that could be romantic partners, or just, a buddy, somebody that you're teaming up with for work reasons. And definitely, your mind and your mental focus will be more there. But definitely there could be these admiring glances for whatever the reason. Now, until the 4th, teamwork, teaming up with someone to get a job done on a practical level, get jobs done. It doesn't have to be one job, it can be several. And you'll probably be in a more cooperative frame of mind, wanting to be a practical help and coordinate, really wanting you're in a cooperative mood. And this could be centered around a friendship, or a close relationship, romantic relationship, or it could be like a business thing, a professional alliance. But also, you're more likely to have good relations with health providers, co-workers, anyone providing a service for you. Socializing or even a romantic encounter could be happening in and around maybe a working environment, or health-related environment. And then from the 4th, that changes and that shifts gear, because that will be when Venus moves into your opposite sign, which is Gemini, and it will stay there for an extraordinarily long time, which is very good news for you, Sagittarius. It means that relationships of all kinds should get a boost, and you and someone could really hit it off, if you haven't already, or just be, bonding more and more. And that could be in a personal sense or a professional sense, and you find that you really can do business together. And it may be, someone who's a key feature of your life, or it may be like several fleeting or not so fleeting connections and alliances. But during this time here, from the beginning of April, the 4th of April actually, until into August, this is a great time for one-to-one type cooperations, and just getting together and teaming up, definitely. And it may be a close relationship that you see as being great value in your life, or it might be not in a romantic sense, but it might be in a business sense. You're working one-to-one and you're doing better there with it. You're more articulate, things are flowing better. And it could be also that you do better materially through these close relationships. I say these, it could be, a special someone, or it might be a working type, professional type relationship, and you do better materially for some reason through this relationship or those relationships, and also emotionally as well, which is probably more important. And maybe through a relationship you get access to a better quality of life, you get access to better resources or information. You just get access to things which ease you emotionally, ease you materially, right? Now Mars is also in a long transit, and also it's very unusual. Mars is in a public sector. I would have mentioned this last month and probably the month before and the month before that, of your chart. Now that's to do with your professional self. Mars is still going to be there for another few months, until July actually. But also it can be to do with just your general direction in life. So this has been and will continue to be a time when you've got to be really take the bull by the horns with anything that is in the way of, or that you need to initiate to get further on with your life. So anything that's in the way of your making progress, you've got to be quite, what's the word, sort of robust, but time it. Don't go over the top, because Mars can be a very fast-paced planetary energy. It's very short on patience, and it can be quite assertive, really. In fact, even aggressive. So you might not realize how the Mars energy has kind of got you, and you come across, in especially you might cross swords with authority figures. People in positions of power, officialdom, authority, like bureaucracy, or it could be teachers, doctors, anybody who sort of sits there and kind of is like the expert. So and the rest of us have sort of got to follow the rules. So however high up the scale that is for you, but this is a time when you can make tremendous progress with your life, with your goals, with your ambitions, your general direction, where you want to go. But also you might find yourself tangling a bit with those who kind of disagree with you, or just have another opinion, really. So you've just got to be more, the self-starter just now, be more dynamic with your life targets, your general direction, and you will have to bite the bullet at times and make pivotal decisions about where you go from here, and where you're headed on your journey in life. This is a very unusual transit of Mars, and it's been there since November. So you may have noticed this kind of thing going on a little bit more than usual, and it will continue to be there until July. Now actually, Mars is going retrograde until mid-month, which indicates that this is just a time, and it's been doing that since March, that you shouldn't expect great advances. It slows down the vitality and the push, the drive of Mars. So just be satisfied with small victories, and certainly that's going to be good enough if you're not too stubborn about having all or nothing, about just being too impatient, because that's what Mars can do. It can make you feel hasty and take hasty decisions and bite off more than you can chew, or overstretch yourself in some way. So just be aware of that. And anyway, the Mars goes direct from mid-month, and things should start to come together. You should start to feel the Mars energy getting behind you again, and start to see, start to get results, and in a more tangible kind of a way. You may be putting physical effort into achieving certain goals and ambitions, and that would be the time for you to get more physical with things from mid-April. And these may be career orientated, like via points on the way to something that you're targeting, in your future. Sagittarius is the archer as well as the centaur, so you need always something to aim at, Sagittarius. A Sagittarian without a goal, a target to aim at, is not functioning well, and is not a happy bunny. So you've got to be aiming there at something, and overall the transit of Mars could really help you gain ground, get somewhere, could inspire you to improve things across the board. Also, it might be that you're wanting to improve image, presentation, figure out how to present things, how to frame it, whatever it is. But again, you might get hot under the collar with others because they appear to be dragging their feet, they don't get it, they're being inefficient, they're being over the top, they're being aggressive with you. You see, so it's a little bit like the people in so-called, positions of power and authority. To you, they seem to be kind of trying to push you around a little bit sometimes. So it can just feel like that. So if you manage to keep your cool and not be too hasty or too argumentative, maybe you will you will make progress with your master plan. And also with your lesser goals and ambitions. And also another thing about this area, it is about your mother or the mother energy, like the guardianship of someone who is maybe a surrogate mother figure as well. So just be aware of that too. You might be able to piece that together. And some of you may have a more robust interaction with a mother type person, or the person in charge, or the person who'd like to be in charge, and you're having to be very sort of firm and boundaried, but as I say, keep your head and keep cool and don't overdo it. From the 20th, the material physical aspects of your life on earth will be highlighted, and you will be cooperating or liaising in a more practical, service orientated kind of a way, looking after yourself more, but brimming with creative ideas, I think. Now, here I've been speaking about the inner planets, the faster moving inner planets, but actually you have to set this against the background of the slower moving outer planets, and to see what they're doing in order to piece the two together, go to my website. There you can read it. In fact, you can read everything I've just been saying here as well about the faster moving inner planets as well. And also on here, you might like listen to your forecast for your rising sign, if you know what it is, and your moon sign, if you know what that is. And I hope that helps, and I'll see you the next time.